gave her a bit of a hat-trick of expletives earlier today. Can you tell me why you feel that way about Kylie?
It was just when I was a little girl and her first, I think her song was called Torn. I really liked her, I thought she was different and great, and she didn't know who I was when I met her, but she was a very big bitch, and people, I don't forget shit like that, and just because you're famous doesn't make you any better than anyone else.
Okay, on that note, one more question. Okay, down here, Mika.
Kelly, you've become an icon for real women all over the world. Do you feel like there's a new pressure on you and who you are because so many girls now look up to you?
I said this earlier on today, it's like I don't want to be, because I have enough trouble making my own mistakes. I learned making mistakes that disappoint other people. So I don't know how I feel about that one.
Alrighty, thanks very much, Kelly Osbourne. Okay, next up, it's becoming very fast here this evening. Next up, we're going to welcome to the stage George. Who have
Thank you, Holly. Thank you. One more, Holly, this way.
Holly, get into the way. Holly, this way, Holly. Holly, this way, Holly. Holly, this way, please. Holly,
one more this way. Thank you.
Holly, this way, please. This way.
Thank you, Holly.
Holly,
Beautiful.
this way, please. Holly, can I get you this way, please? Thank you. Second. Thank you very much. Holly, just over here, please. Thank you very much.
one of the biggest hits of the year in Australia and the UK and Europe. It went to #1 in the UK and Australia and top 10 in Italy, Germany, Finland, Ireland, Norway and Spain. Choose a microphone and a microphone. Hello. And it was based on a... Come closer. And it was based on a turkey shoot, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Which is nice. Holly, welcome to the press day.
As well as here is difficult, so it's been amazing, and I just think a whole lot of luck actually at the end of the day. Have I been what, sorry? Oh, that was a long time ago. No, that was at a big store and they had these huge 10-foot by 10-foot screens, and then I came on, so it was incredibly embarrassing, and I quickly sort of hid away before it got messy.
There's been a lot of talk about the mobile phone that sends photographs. What's the truth behind the story?
Well, considering they don't have the technology to do that yet internationally, I wish they can't. So that was a joke, but I got once again blown out of proportion.
Okay, other questions? Yep.
It was quoted in the British press that you're having trouble adapting to the superstar status, so to speak, and you're not living a normal life.
Still boring old me. Fortunately, that's just the way I like it. It's the way I've been grown up, and I'm happy just to hang out with all the normal people. I always have done, and that's fine for me. I'm happy like that.
Who are you working with
on the album? A lot with Nelly Hooper, Rob Davis, Mellow Music in Sweden, a lot of the Scandinavian countries, but yeah, a real variety.
Okay. Sorry. I'll take one here and then I'll come to you, okay? Yeah.
So many nominations, one incredibly successful single. How did you feel about that?
It's amazing. I can't believe that it's carried me this far, and I just feel really, really honoured to be here tonight, just because I've just had all this success from this one song, and all these people have had, you know, first and second albums already, and it's incredible. Maybe.
Okay, and over there?
I would love to meet her tonight. G'day. I don't know, I'd probably just say if she's enjoying her night. I've never met her, but I would love to.
Okay, down here?
No, not at all. I think definitely something to aspire to. I think she's a pretty incredible woman, and I've always admired her, but that was just something that the British media ran with a while ago, and it worked and sold papers, so they kept running with it, unfortunately.
Okay, Amika?
And word has it, Holly, that Kylie actually sent you a congratulations fax when you did so well in the UK charts. How did you feel about that?
Oh, I was just amazed, and it was really nice because it was a weight off my shoulders knowing that she didn't buy into everything that was being written. You know, we hadn't been slagging each other off, and she's obviously, you know, been in the business long enough to know how it all works, so it put my mind at ease.
All right, I think we've got time for one or two more questions. Yeah.
Different people, fame,
Right old hussy. Yeah. collabs once, and he's a lovely guy, a real gentleman, but I've never been romantically linked with anyone other than my boyfriend the past 2 years that last week it was Britney Spears, I was a lezo for a day. So, I don't know.
Okay, one last question. Any question? Plus, you again? Okay, all right.
You have been quoted saying that you really enjoy acting, but singing is what you want to do in the future. Is that the kind of...
Yeah, it's difficult.
Down here. Right. Olivia, down here. Steve, thanks. That's lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Olivia, down the middle.
I did that. Flash ready.
Olivia, this way, please. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
How's the wine going?
Can you just turn your head this way? Olivia, can you just look down here, please?
That you were going to be inducted?
I was very, I knew a little while ago, but
Yeah.
very, very excited.
Okay, we have some questions from the floor. Who'd like to go first? Yep.
You can say that run from your high school teacher through to Chloe, everyone. Is that a real moment for you to get it all off the chest?
Yeah, well, there have been people throughout my life that I've never really had an opportunity to thank, and I haven't seen them again, some of them, and when I was thinking about it, I've written this speech many times in my head, and I thought, this is the time to thank those people because this will never happen again, and so I won't get an opportunity, and it was my chance to thank them.
Congratulations, Olivia.
Thank you.
You had great success in America, and do you think Greece was really the defining point in your career?
The which point?
Greece, the defining point.
I think Greece kind of took my career to another level, and I was having quite good success with music at that point, but being in a hit movie and being the success that it's been, and this still is being, which is the amazing thing, was really my fortune, because it's been an amazing journey since then. Yeah.
Is it true there's another sequel to Grease?
They're talking about doing Grease 3, yeah.
And was Kylie Minogue being touted?
Well, I don't know. Someone said that to me on the way in. That would be great. Yeah, that would be a great idea.
Olivia, I'd like to ask you, you've obviously had a fairly strong perspective in regards to what Australian music has been like over the last 16 years, the duration of the Aria Awards. What are some of the major differences, do you think, for the process that you went through as a young artist, and what some of those artists, those very young artists who are taken to the stage tonight, go through?
I think it's a very different business now than it was when I first started. I mean, the recording industry was in its infancy and was very rare. I mean, some of the rock acts like Billy Thorpe were having hit records back then when I started out in the old days, but it wasn't as easy, and it was almost impossible to have a hit in Australia and have it successful in America, like we saw tonight, the Vines and Casey Chambers and Kylie, I don't think records here now, but a lot of those people are starting from here, which I think is fantastic. I mean, how wonderful is that? So it's changed a great deal.
How many more questions from the floor? Yeah.
You've mentioned Peter Allen. Your new album's going to do everything, is that right?
I have on my new album. We just finished it last week, and I've just recorded a duet album called 2 that's coming out, and I did a duet with Peter Allen, and I did one with Johnny O'Keefe too.
What, through sort of studio trickery, or how did it work?
Through what?
How did you do that?
Very carefully, and a lot of technical stuff was done to create it, but it was just a fantasy I had when we were discussing putting the album together. I said, you know what, I love Tenterfield Saddle, it's one of my favourite songs, and so Australian. And I said, instead of doing it with somebody else, why don't I do it with Peter Allen? Can we find out if that's possible? So we got permission from his estate, and then we managed to get a live track that he had done, which had very little instrumentation on it, so it wasn't so hard to put new things on it.
Sorry.
Yes, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask you if that was an emotional process.
Actually, I heard it back yesterday. When I was in the studio, I was more concerned about doing it. But when I heard his voice, it really affected me greatly. Yes, it is emotional, even now when I hear it, yeah. He was wonderful, and he was a friend, so.
Okay, at the back.
I listen to a lot of different kinds of music. I turn on the radio, so I try to stay current, but I don't think I'm very current really, because I've been touring for the last month and I'm a bit out of touch. But I like very different kinds of music. I like new age music, I like Brazilian music, I like some rap because my daughter plays rap, some country. I like music. As long as it's good, I like music in general.
Hi.
Hi.
Have you had a chance to ask your life and your career, and basically that's a scrap of your life.
Yeah.
Writing books. Did you find it odd going through your career having so mimic your look? You know, having all these little Olivia clones out there?
I guess it's a form of flattery, isn't it? You know. So, I mean, it's kind of funny when I look back at the hairstyles and things now. It's hysterical to me. My daughter was falling apart watching them with me up there. But, no, it's a form of flattery. It's never bothered me. Oh, really? The headband and the whole thing, yeah.
Have there been any particular points that you've mentioned to your daughter now that she's entering the music industry? Are there any particular points where you've sort of hammered into her to follow after your experiences?
I've just encouraged her to be who she is and not try and be like anybody else, because, you know, there is a kind of a thing that happens in music that somebody records something and then everyone wants to jump on that bandwagon, but really what they're looking for is the next thing to follow. So don't become the one that follows, you know, be the leader. So I've just encouraged her to be true to who she is and be who she is.
Yes.
Would you like to be involved if they do another Long Way to the Top series? Would you come back and perform?
I haven't really thought about that. I think if I come back here to perform, I'll probably do my own tour, because I haven't toured here in, I don't know how long, 20 years, maybe 15, maybe 20. So we're thinking about doing that next year.
Okay, one last question, it's yours.
Inspiration to lots of young female artists. I'm just wondering what your perspective is on the way women in pop in particular are portrayed, really pushing the envelope in terms of their
Sorry, pushing the what?
pushing the envelope in terms of their religion.
Oh, well, I think it's probably because they have to, because everything's getting more and more extreme that they feel they have to. They're looking great and it's interesting to me. I would never be that brave, but I thought physical was bold, and it seems so tame now compared to what's going on. But I love all the girls. I think they're fabulous. Yeah.
Please thank Olivia Newton John for the
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, folks, up the back now, the winners of the Best Cast Show Album from The Man from Snowy River, Kevin Jacobson.
Are we rolling? We're not rolling. We're not. We aren't. Oh, my fucking money. Where's my fucking money?
Great show the other night, Bob.
Which one?
Seymour.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. Bob, down
Thanks,
please.
mate. Over here, please, Bob.
Down the hill again.
Get you just to look at me, please, Bob.
One into the Irish Times, please.
Would you give us a smart book?
Thank you. International edition, that is.
Can you stand in the centre again, please?
Thank you. Get you look this way, please, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one more here, please, Bob.
That's enough, guys. Thanks.
And just over here, please, Bob. Thanks.
Busy? Yes. All right. Do we have any questions from the floor, first of all, for Sir Bob? Yes.
What's it like touring again and promoting the album the way you do it now as opposed to the way you did it back then?
Has much changed?
It was easier then, there were bigger crowds, you know. No, nothing's changed now. Well, what has changed is that in the past when I was starting, you would be bothered about how many people were in, what was the size of the venue, whether you sold it out faster than the last time, were the ticket prices more. So every concert, though enjoyable, was part of a career move. Now I couldn't give a fuck about that. And so you're just left with the pure enjoyment of playing. And that's much more refreshing.
So Bob, were you pleasantly surprised at the way that some of those songs that you've written so long ago, I Don't Like Mondays and Great Song of Indifference and the like, they really were crowd favourites on a tour like this. Are you quite surprised at how long they've lasted and how much appreciated they still are?
Yes, I am, I guess, because you sort of think, well, you've left a few tunes behind, if nothing else. And I was in India once, and I passed, if you've been there, you know all the wedding stuff that goes on there, and I passed this sort of wedding hall or temple, and there was at the Indian wedding party, we're doing a karaoke version of I Don't Like Mondays. And I thought, that's cool. And the great song of Indifference is bizarrely, because I just made it up on the spot as the tape was current. That was the most covered song I've ever done. It's been done in 18 or 19 languages. And it's funny getting those versions. Everyone puts a different spin on it. But is it important? Not very much. No, they're just songs over 27 years, and I've heard other people say this, but it's nonetheless true. Not one song is more important than the others. The ones that tend to loom, that tend to factor more with you, are the ones you've just recently done, because they're the most, they're the ones that articulate the moment.
Okay, yeah, another question.
With the social work in the 80s, in these kind of tumultuous days, is there any issue that attracts your interest that might tend to back into?
Well, I still work a lot in Africa. I've been doing it for 18 years, and my old friend from Ireland, Bono, re-engaged about 3 years ago, and we have a small group called DATA, which starts an acronym for Debt Aid and Trade. I'm still chairman of Band Aid and Live Aid, which still distributes funds in Africa. DATA is a more focused and pointed political lobbying group in Washington, and it's funded by Bill Gates and George Soros. And the rationale being that you could have 600 Live Aids in a year, and I understood that then. That's why we called it Band Aid, that wouldn't solve the problem. But Live Aid was to put an issue that was nowhere on the political agenda at all in 1984 and place it at the top. And I think that's succeeded, whether it's Kansaskas, Genoa, or the Cologne G8, or whether it's the Kyoto Accords, or whether it's the Johannesburg Summit or the Monterey Summit. They all deal with the disparity between the rich world and the poor world. And so it's become the #1 global agenda. And I think that's largely because the politicians around now are Live Aid babies. Blair was one year in Parliament during Live Aid. It was he started the Band Aid cross-party parliamentary committee. Clinton watched it all day. Bush watched it for a couple of hours. So these people were younger men, and we're in tune with that. And so it's relatively easy having access to these people, which is what Live Aid did. I mean, the money was the physical manifestation of that political lobby. So I could come and see Hawke and Keating and Bush Senior, in fact, and Reagan and Thatcher in those days, and today Bush Junior and Blair and those people. So that continues on a daily basis.
Alrighty, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for at this stage. Thank you very much, Sir Bob Geldof. Enjoy the rest of your time in Australia. Enjoy the tea too.
Over here, please.
That's terrific, thank you.
Casey, stand here, please. Casey, just this way, please.
Casey's album was called Brick Walls and Barricades, which is a fairly, Barricades and Brick Walls, which is a fairly ironic title, considering how many people have not only bought the album, but how many people have less.
What's the best album one you really want to do?
I guess, that's the one everybody's sort of hoping to get, but I honestly thought I had least chance in that one than I did any other award of the whole night. So I was relaxing at that point and thinking, okay, my night's over, have a drink. So it's fun out.
On the carpet outside, you said to me you didn't feel very comfortable being like one of the princesses of Australian music. How do you feel now?
I think, because you said princess of pop, and I consider myself a country artist. I always have and I always will be, so I think I'm just a little more comfortable with that title.
But the mainstream's really got hold of you now.
lucky in the fact that I've got a mainstream audience now, but I never had to sort of compromise my music in order to do that. So I'm pretty proud of being able to do that.
Okay, Tim.
Why did you choose to do True Colours? Did you think a lot about what song you wanted to perform?
Tonight, you mean? Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I would have liked to have done Not Pretty Enough, but we performed it last year. That was the obvious choice, you know, to do that song. And True Colours has been one of my favourite songs for a long time. I sang it when I was about 13, back in my family band. And, you know, it's out on for the Rugby World Cup, so, you know, I thought it was sort of a good place to debut it.
I'm going to take a few more questions, but I just wanted to mention for the photographers that the silver chair are apparently just about to arrive as well. Oh no, Alex is first, sorry. So here comes Alex. Do we have some more questions for Casey?
Yeah, I just can't believe it. I really have had the best year of my entire life. With, yeah, musically, everything's gone really well, and I'm having a great time. But also having Talon, my first baby, that was sort of the, you know, the definite high point of this year and my life so far. And this is just a nice bit of icing on the cake. I can't believe.
Yes, ma'am.
Has motherhood given you a different perspective on your work?
A little bit. I think motherhood changes you at every aspect of your life, really. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm loving every minute of it. My career has always been an important part of my life, and I love it, but it's also never been the most important thing. You know, my family and my friends and all that sort of thing has always been, and now talent's come into my life and is part of that as well. So I'm enjoying sharing both of them too. We're back out on the road now, and I get to take talent with me, so that's fun.
Congratulations, Casey Chambers. We'll have to leave it there, folks.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks very much.
All right, folks, Best Male Artist for 2002, the 16th Annual Aria Awards. A man who's... How you feeling?
Alright,
Yeah, good.
You know, you're waiting for, anyway, go ahead.
The year, of course, number one on Triple J's, Hot 100. 8 shows in Europe. What's been the real highlight for you? All the travels you've done this year?
The highlight? It's really hard to evaluate your highlight when you're still living your life and it's all going so full on, and every day you keep working. I'm going to give you a really boring long answer, but you keep working and working and working, like doing tour after tour or whatever. So it's kind of, I think it takes about 3 months after the event to actually evaluate it. So there's my shitty answer.
Another question. Yes.
You seem to have given hope to everywhere. Is it true that you actually are now engaged with a girl that you saw in the front row?
She wasn't in the front row, she was in the middle row. And it took me about 2 years after meeting her to actually, it was about 3 years of courting before I actually managed to convince her that I was a real person. So it took a long time to actually, you know, to get there.
Okay, do we have time for another question? Yep. Another question from the floor, please, folks.
But I'm afraid this is the last one because, you know.
Okay.
One more. New album?
New album? I'm 7 songs into my new album. Writing, basically, and I have a new record. I'd say, like, about this time next year. There'll be a new one out. Thank you very much.
Well done, Alex.
Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
You too. We will. Okay, all right, folks, here they are. Chris, Ben, and Daniel back together. It's nice to see them as well. Silverchair, congratulations to 2 Aria Awards tonight for Best Rock Album and Best Group, as well as a couple of Artisan Awards for Best Leader and playing in front of a good live crowd.
Yeah, it was a very good feeling. Yeah, we haven't been able to experience that feeling very much this year, so when you get to do it, it's really quite overwhelming.
It was good. Okay, some questions from the floor. Yes.
it was gorgeous. I loved it, and it felt too short, and we wanted to play more songs, but we were only scheduled for one, so we just dealt with it and decided to relax. They were good, actually. They're feeling good now, and they're feeling alive and pumped, and I think, yeah, I don't think.
Okay, another question. Yes, Mika.
Most people come to award ceremony hoping to come away with something. Does it take the pressure off you if you actually came into the ceremony having already won something?
What did we already win?
I don't know about the other guys, but for me, just the pleasure of getting out and playing the song was, yeah, that if we only just did that, that would have been totally fine for me.
Dan, what about you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing. It was really fun.
You look good up there. Okay, yeah, Danny.
I'm going back either tomorrow or the next day, depending on how the night pans out, and yeah, it should be pretty good. I'm feeling confident. 4 to 6 weeks, I'll be 100%, and it'll be all about gymnastics. Yeah, we really want to tour next year if we can, and yeah, we're confident we will be. We don't know for how long and what places, but all around the world, we're gonna take this thing international.
Can I ask a question as well? Has it been nice to get some final respect and approval for Diorama after having such a turbulent year? Is it nice just to walk into the Arias tonight and realise that people really have accepted it after being such a challenging album?
Yeah, it's just it's amazing to have not, done all the obligatory touring and everything else that comes with promoting an album. It's just, it's really flattering to have people still care about an album, even though we didn't really do anything to promote it. So, I mean, we've still been in the papers. Me and my girlfriend have been hanging around, and it's been pretty cool. And it's all good. It's all self-promotion, and we fired our publicist because she's not needed anymore. And yeah, things are looking pretty rosy for the future.
Yeah, question from over there.
Yeah, I thought it was gorgeous. It was all in good fun. I know her very well, and she likes to joke. It was a classic.
Alrighty. Yep, question from at the back.
Will you be collaborating at all musically, or do you give Natalie feedback on her music?
No, we won't be collaborating, and no, I don't really give her feedback because she hasn't asked for it, and if she did, I'd give it to her, and she doesn't need me. She's all right. She does well by herself.
I understand you've got a fan in the form of Bono from U2 who suggested that people who are living outside of Australia should actually swim to Australia to have a listen to the record.
Yeah.
I did actually see that quote. It was, yeah, it's cool.
I think it was too. Very cool, actually. Okay, any more questions from down here? Come on, a silver chair. They haven't played for ages yet.
You challenged yourselves a lot with that album. What are you looking to get to now as far as writing and...
It changes every day, depending on how I'm feeling. Initially, I wanted to write something minimalist for the next album, and started exploring doing minimal things, and realised that it's not for me, and decided that I need to go larger. So yeah, things will just keep getting bigger and bigger until we explode or implode, and then we'll decide to take things down a notch and do an acoustic album.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, please thank Silverchair. Congratulations,
Thank
guys.
you.
And it was great to see you back on stage together too. Well done. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the evening. Thank you very much for your attention and your time. It's been wonderful. I'll see you all at the back.